Hello everyone, this is News Distillate, your go-to destination for the latest news, where we will provide you with the news you need in a quick and efficient manner. And now, let's get started with our first news with my co-host Emma.
Good evening everyone, thank you Hussein. My name is Emma and I'm here to talk about an important issue. More than half of the world's largest lakes are shrinking, and it's a big deal. Researchers found that the global decline in water storage is equivalent to 17 Lake Meads, the largest reservoir in the US. The main causes of this decline are people overusing water for agriculture and development and human-caused climate change. In reservoirs, dirt and sand piled up behind dams also played a role. This is a big problem because about a quarter of the world's population lives in a basin with a drying lake. That means the potential impact could be huge. To figure out what was going on, researchers looked at nearly 2,000 of the planet's largest lakes and reservoirs. They used satellite observations and climate models to measure how bodies of water have shrunk or grown over time and to see what was causing the change. The results were shocking. The team found that 53% of the lakes and reservoirs surveyed were shrinking, and at least half of that decline was caused by human-caused climate change and overconsumption. This research is important because it helps water managers better manage and protect threatened lakes around the world. Knowing what's causing the decline can help us put more emphasis on conservation and improving water efficiency. So, Hussein, what news do you have for us?
Today we have some interesting news. As the world is facing the effects of climate change, it has caused a ripple effect on the economy. This means that the job market, housing prices and inflation are all being affected. To make sense of it all, we have economic forecasters to tell us what they see in the economy now and what they expect in the months ahead. Since our last discussion, the housing market has cooled off, but the job market is still going strong. This means that people are still able to find jobs and the economy is still doing well. However, there is still a possibility of a recession, which is when the economy slows down and people start to lose their jobs. Inflation is also a factor to consider. This is when prices of goods and services increase, which can make it harder for people to afford basic necessities. If inflation continues to rise, it could lead to a recession. Our economic forecasters are keeping a close eye on the job market, inflation and housing prices. They are predicting that the job market will remain strong, but inflation and housing prices could still be affected by climate change. It's important to remember that climate change is having a real effect on the economy. We need to be aware of the potential consequences and take steps to protect ourselves. We should also be aware of how our actions can help or hurt the environment. That's all the news for now. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Hussein. As the world continues to grapple with the effects of climate change, Los Angeles is feeling the strain of an increasingly expensive housing market. The Fashion District is a prime example of how the city's workers are being affected, with plans to add 100,000 new apartments downtown to help alleviate the crisis. Our sources report that the city's garment workers and others now fear that the Fashion District and its factories won't survive the city's downtown housing boom. To make matters worse, the U.S. Labor Department recently conducted an investigation and found that some garment workers have been paid as little as $1.58 per hour. The City Council recently passed a new 20-year development plan for downtown L.A., which aims to create 100,000 new homes, in part by allowing housing and manufacturing hubs like the Fashion District. But some property owners are concerned that the plan could scuttle plans for new housing. Francisco Mancilla, a garment worker in the district, says he's glad that he and his fellow workers won concessions from the city. He knows that LA needs more housing, but he doubts his family will be able to afford any of the new housing coming to the Fashion District. It's a sad situation, but it's important to remember that the Fashion District is responsible for more than 80% of all sales of clothing cut and sewn in America. Mary Price, the founder of a small LA brand called Ocean Plus Maine, says that the factories in the district are full of highly skilled workers who are producing beautiful clothing. It's a difficult situation, but with the right policies in place, it's possible to create more housing without displacing the garment workers. Back to you, Hussein.
Thank you, Emma. As the city of LA continues to expand, garment workers in the Fashion District are feeling the pressure of displacement. To make sure their health and well-being is taken into account, a new study is being conducted to find personalised nutrition advice that can help them stay healthy and prevent disease. It's true that there's a lot of nutrition advice that's the same for everyone, but recent research has shown that our bodies respond differently to food. This new study will take into account a person's genetics, gut microbes, and other lifestyle, environmental and social factors to create individualised eating recommendations that can improve overall health. With diet-related diseases being one of the leading causes of death, it's more important than ever to make sure people are living healthy lives. Nutrition plays a huge role in human development and in the prevention and treatment of diseases. Our sources are hoping that this study will help people make informed decisions about their diets and lead healthier lives. So, if you're looking for ways to stay healthy, make sure to keep an eye out for the results of this study. It could be the key to unlocking your healthier self.
That's really interesting, Hussein. So how will this study help people make informed decisions about their diets?
It will create individualized eating recommendations that can improve overall health based on a person's genetics, gut microbes, and other lifestyle, environmental, and social factors. That way, people can make the best decisions for their own health.
That's great. So what do you think the results of this study could mean for people?
It could be the key to unlocking their healthier selves. Okay then, what's our next news, Emma?
Thank you, Hussein. We all know that the health of garment workers in LA is of utmost importance, and this study is just one of the many steps being taken to make sure they're taken care of. But we can't forget about our furry friends. One cat rescue worker has created an internet sensation with their CatVana adoption campaign. It's like CatVana, but for cats. Those up for adoption include a 2014 Ferrari named Arliss, black exterior, power napping, a 2015 Mercedes called Buddy, custom gray saddle kit seat heater, and Cassie, a 2022 Meowsda, custom multicolor exterior self-cleaning. The creator of CatVana Delcourt said her inspiration was humorously uneventful. She was brainstorming cute ways to display all 9 of Pippi's Place's available cats in one post when her husband walked in with a truck listing. That gave her the idea to model a page with multiple cat listings off the car search. Delcourt said they're currently in the middle of kitten season, so they have a high volume of tiny kittens who are too young to be adopted out, and some with illnesses and injuries that need to be treated before going to their forever homes. The volunteers at Pippi's Place are working literally around the clock every 4 hours to care for these kittens. Delcourt's favorite ad is for Mr. Goodbar, the 2023 Mini Pooper. She said she wanted it to be something adorable and relative to his size, so she went with the mini part. Delcourt said the volunteers who keep Pippi's Place running and make sure all the kittens find homes deserve all the credit. They work countless hours giving their blood, sweat, and tears for these cats, and without them there wouldn't be anything to post. So let's give a round of applause for the volunteers at Pippi's Place. Back to you, Hussein.
Thank you, Emma. We all know that the G7 nations are taking a stand against Russia's aggression, but what does that actually mean? Well, the United States is planning to blacklist around 70 companies and organizations for selling restricted US products to Russia. This is an effort to make Russia feel the economic pain of their war on Ukraine. The US will also cut off about 300 individuals, entities, vessels, and aircraft from the US financial system for trying to get around the sanctions. This includes people and companies from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. But what kind of products are they trying to get around the sanctions for? Well, Max Bergman, a former State Department official, said that there has been a surge in washing machine trade. Russia is trying to take out the microchips from the washing machines and use them for missile production or other weapons. Kim Donovan, a former Treasury Department official, said that the sanctions are having an impact, even though Russia has not pulled back from the war. It's a slow process, and the effects won't be seen immediately. The CatVana adoption campaign is a reminder of the importance of compassion and kindness. It provides a safe haven for cats and garment workers while the G7 nations are taking a stand against Russia's aggression. We should all take a page from their book and try to spread a little kindness and understanding in these difficult times.
Hussein, it sounds like the G7 nations are taking a strong stance against Russia's aggression. What kind of products are they trying to get around the sanctions for?
Max Bergman, a former State Department official, said that there has been a surge in washing machine trade. Russia is trying to take out the microchips from the washing machines and use them for missile production or other weapons.
That's really concerning. It's a reminder of how important it is to spread kindness and understanding in these difficult times.
Absolutely. We should all take a page from the CatVana adoption campaign and try to spread a little kindness and understanding in these difficult times. OK, then, what's our next news, Emma?
Thank you, Hussein. With the economic sanctions against Russia, the CatVana adoption campaign is a reminder of how important it is to show compassion, especially for veterans who may face financial hardship if the U.S. defaults on its debt. Veterans are at the center of 2 major debates in Washington: budget talks and the potential default on America's debt. If the U.S. defaults, the Department of Veterans Affairs could be short of cash as soon as June 1st, leaving veterans like Jesse Reynolds struggling to make ends meet. Jesse served 14 years in the Navy until a head injury cut his time with a SEAL team short. Now he's living in a pop-up camper on the back of his pickup truck, and his only income is the monthly disability check from the VA. Patrick Murray, legislative director for the VFW, says this is uncharted territory for veterans. He says people are asking what this means for their benefits, but no one knows because it's never happened before. If Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has warned that money could run out as soon as June 1st. That could mean late checks for veterans and troops, and they could miss rent or mortgage payments or car payments. It could also affect the pay of federal workers who process VA claims or the VA doctors and nurses. Republican House Veterans Affairs Chairman Mike Bost has said he won't allow veterans funding to be cut, but Allison Jaslow with Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America says that doesn't mean it won't be cut when it comes up for renewal annually. This leaves veterans like Jesse Reynolds still worried. It's important to remember that veterans have made sacrifices for our country, and we should do everything we can to make sure they are taken care of. We should all be aware of the potential consequences of a debt default and make sure our veterans are not forgotten. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.